Today on the Norse Benchwarmers podcast, we take a deep dive into the world of sports from the gridiron to the hardwood, the diamond to the ice rink, and cover the collegiate levels to the pros. We'll bring you the latest news, analysis, and hot takes from the wide world of sports. So let's waste no time and get this show started. Welcome back to the Norse Benchwarmers podcast. I am your host, Colton Smith, here joined by producer Josh Northcutt and co-host Ben Miller. Guys, how was our Mother's Day weekend?
It was uneventful. A lot of working, unfortunately. You've been starting to prepare for this trip that's coming up in a few weeks. But all in all, can't really complain. Only got to call my mom, though, so I feel kind of bad that I didn't actually go see her. But I would promise her I will make it up.
For myself, good Mother's Day. Got to spend the day with my mom. It's always nice. And just like Josh and you guys as well, preparing for the trip. Doing those assignments, it's definitely been a lot. Yeah,
it's been. I feel like I have so much more to prepare for, but we'll have to get to that after the show. My Mother's Day, I spent working with my mom.
I mean, at least you got to see your mom, though.
Got to spend it with my mom out in the fields. We got a new horse, so we're setting up the fence to make sure she doesn't get out. But it was good fun, all good fun. But enough about us. Let's talk about what's been going on this week. Huge stuff. Tom Brady, the ultimate roast happened. I just finished that up last night. It was a 3-hour show, so I don't have 3 hours of time to do anything like that except watch the Pacers. And it was interesting. I loved Kill Tony. I thought he was hilarious, but he wouldn't really go in on Tom Brady, just went in on everybody. But how about that awkward moment when Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft took that shot? What did you think?
Yeah, they clearly hate each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad to see that's what their relationship became because of the history of those two guys. And I hope maybe they can sit down one day and work things out. But, man, that was brutal to watch. And apparently it was backstage as well. Like, Belichick was in there talking about, like, a locker room talk with all the guys. And Kraft walked in, and it was just super awkward. And, like, Edelman tried to warn Bill, like, hey, the boss is here. Hey, the boss is here. So they all kind of left listening to Bill talk and go talk to Bob instead, or Rob.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like that take was a little bit awkward just because, Belichick, he's parting ways with the Patriots. And that was just so weird to see them do that shot together on stage.
Yeah. It seemed like maybe it wasn't as mutual as the public was led to believe.
Well, did you actually hear what may have happened with the Atlanta job?
No.
Did you hear, Ben?
No, I did not. What's the word on that?
So remember how the rumor was Belichick is getting the job in Atlanta? Like, it was pretty well known.
It seemed pretty, pretty.
Yeah,
certain.
now that you brought that up, that does sound familiar.
Apparently, Robert Kraft called Arthur Blank and said, if you hire Belichick, you are making the biggest mistake in franchise history.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
What
and the reason why he didn't get the job is because Rob Kraft. Now, I don't know if it's true, but it's just something that was thrown out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
they hate each other.
That is crazy that you mentioned that they hate each other because these two guys with Tom Brady, they've had a bunch of success in the National Football League, especially with those did they win 7 Super Bowls? Or no,
Six.
But that's crazy that they would hate each other after all of that success.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't look like there's a lot of talk about Brady and Belichick not liking each other. I didn't get that vibe for sure.
No, I think it's one of those things.
Fluff.
Yeah, when they were done playing and coaching, they realized, hey, we had a lot of good times together. So, yeah, obviously Brady made the joke and kind of a stab at Bill. But, yeah I thought the Edelman joke was the best towards Bill and had me dying. I didn't actually watch the whole show. I just kind of watched YouTube or TikTok clips. But, man, talk about non-PC.
Yeah. Well, we are heading into our first NFL season without Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in a long time, and the schedule release is going to be Wednesday night, I believe.
Yep.
There were some sneak peeks that came out. Ben, I'll let you talk about those.
Yeah, guys. So for these Week 1 matchups, we got the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs AFC Championship rematch. We got the Cleveland Browns going up against the Cowboys. Tom Brady making his broadcast debut for Fox. And we got our first Monday night game of the season. It's the Jets versus the San Francisco 49ers. And we got the Packers and the Eagles playing overseas. What are you guys' thoughts on these games coming up?
I'm going to just throw this out here. The Brazil game being Week 1 is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
That is not fair to the people of Philadelphia. I don't care. It is abandoning your fans. And the arguably most top 5 loyal, craziest fans in all sports, they lose the game with the Packers. That could be an NFC deal of, hey, who's going to get the 1 seed?
Yeah, that legitimately could be. We look back on that as a tiebreaker or something like that. And you're having that down there. I love what the NFL is doing, branching out to different countries. I think that's great.
Agreed.
In Week 1, though,
no.
is just ridiculous. It's crazy talk.
I mean, in my opinion, I actually like the fact for Week 1 that they're going to Brazil. I feel like it gets other people engaged on what the NFL is like and overseas. So I'm not mad at it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Chiefs start the year 0-1 again.
This is another matchup I was looking at. Like I mentioned before, AFC Championship game. You got Lamar Jackson going up against that vicious offense in the Chiefs. But overall, I feel like this is going to be a really good matchup.
I think it'll be a case where the Chiefs tend to come into the season a little lethargic, and then the Ravens will probably be gunning for that Chiefs game. They will have everything. They got some vengeance to pay, and so they'll probably come a lot more prepared for that game than the Chiefs will, I believe. And yeah, I'd say they'll start the season 0-1. Will they start the season 0-2? I sure hope so.
And then obviously we're going to throw it to our favorite team, the team that we talk about. I promise none of us are Buffalo Bills fans, but I have to throw this out here. The Buffalo Bills continue to add to their land of misfit toys, and Marcus Valdez-Scantling is now a Buffalo Bill wide receiver. They now have a wide receiver room of Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins, Chase Claypool, KJ Hamler, Andy Isabel, and then obviously Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. Boy, oh boy, Josh Allen has to be excited looking at that room.
He's on his feet. He's ready to go, I bet.
I mean, I was kind of going back and forth on this. I'm a little concerned about the Bills this year, especially trading away Stephon Diggs. But I feel like right now the momentum is with the Miami Dolphins, especially with that wide receiver trio that they're bringing in. I feel like they got the advantage over the Bills.
Keon Coleman's clearly the number one there, right?
I would say. The more I learn about Coleman, the more I like it about him too.
So is MVS, Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins, Chase Claypool, KJ Hamler, or Andy Isabel? Who is your number 2?
Oh, man.
We'll find out. Josh Allen has a prime opportunity to show that he is one of the best quarterbacks in this league. He already is, but he has a prime opportunity to show him, like, I'll elevate these wide receivers.
I'm going to say, if they make it even as a wild card team, I'm putting Josh Allen in his MVP discussion now, already. Should have won it last year, but that's a different story.
Different story, different time.
Yep.
But Johnny Newton had some stuff going on. Somebody that we really wanted on the Bengals. Maybe we kind of looked out there.
Yeah, sounds like another surgery on his opposite foot, the left foot. He had 4 months ago on the right foot. They're hoping he's ready by training camp, but that could explain why he fell to the second round. Because I mean, if you got bad feet and you're a D lineman, that's not good.
I actually have a quote here from draft night from Newton. He said, and I quote, "I'm fully healed now. I'm ready to go. The injury happened mid-season, got surgery on it in January, healed up, fully healed. Then I did a pro day back in Illinois, and ever since then I've been ready to go." This was said before it came out that he's getting his surgery. So, I mean, obviously that's what he's going to say as he's trying to get drafted, but it's quite interesting how quickly that he had that surgery. But I'm not overly worried about it. I think it's a pretty routine stuff. But yeah, what do you think, Ben?
In a way, I'm kind of worried because I mean, there's no timeline, right, on when he's going to be back.
I would assume like 4 months.
Yeah,
if he was ready after
the last
other
one
fight.
took about 4 months. Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys think it'll be concerning to think that he might not be back in time for the preseason?
I mean, it's
that's
concerning. It'll take him time to get going for sure.
because you got a rookie coming in, where preseason is going to be the perfect opportunity to show what he can do as a player, and who knows, maybe in the regular season. So mainly that's my concern because he's going to have a lot of catching up to do.
They do have a lot of D-line depth there, though, so he doesn't have to start right away. He can learn behind some of the guys there. But.
Right.
Yeah, he's not in a rush or anything like that. But let's move on to the MLB. Should we just get the elephant out of the room here?
Go ahead. Rip the Band-Aid off.
The Cincinnati Reds.
Blow.
We're like, I don't even know how to explain it, man. I have 2 questions for you guys.
All right.
You want me to start with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you believe that David Bell is the right manager for this team?
I'm to the point, as much as I believed in him before, you may have to bring a new face in just to try to build some energy and different kind of feel to the team. I know there was a talk a long time ago of hiring Barry Larkin as manager. I'm going to throw this out here. I'm not a fan of that because you know the problem with hiring Barry Larkin?
What?
You eventually have to fire Barry Larkin.
Mm-hmm.
No. So.
I mean, I don't want to give up on David Bell. I mean, during his time in Cincinnati, we've seen a couple of positives, including last year when they won 12 in a row. Last year they were in playoff contention, but the problem mainly this year is just their injuries. I mean, if they weren't dealing with as many injuries as they're dealing with right now, I feel like they can be a completely different ball team.
So you think that because of the injuries, Bell should stay?
Well, I'm not saying that per se, but
Gun to your head, do you fire him, yes or no?
I wouldn't fire him.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Nah. No, I think he has overstayed his welcome by far. I think he should have been fired back when they collapsed in September, if you ask me.
That's fair. That's honestly pretty fair. Fun fact, when they were 17 and 21, so that was 3 games ago, they had the exact same record the year before. They have not improved any, and they have not gotten any worse technically at that point so far.
Yeah. I think it's time for a culture change. But anything else? Sorry. Never mind.
Your second question?
My second question, you kind of answered it. That's what got me confused there. My second question was, what has he done to earn this trust to stay here?
They almost made the playoffs last year. I mean, that's
okay.
That's unfortunately. I mean, that's I guess what they got. He got that young core to produce. But again, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Garrett, since I'm going to throw it your way on this one.
Yeah, Garrett, feel free to jump in at any
Correct
point.
me if I'm wrong here. It was kind of only like that 1 month span that really got hot. It wasn't like a whole second half of the season.
No.
Right?
Which one are you talking about specifically?
Like last year, they went on that 12-game win streak, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up finishing at 500 or a game under 500, one or the other.
I think they were like 1 or 2 games below 500.
Okay, so their big run was because of that 12-game win streak. You can't expect that to happen every year, especially this year.
No, that's never a given. I mean, baseball's baseball. Crazy stuff happens, but you shouldn't bank on a 12-game winning streak
Not at
in
all.
your season. That's not something you should be doing as a professional ball club.
Yeah, we were getting close to a 12-game lose streak. But Garrett, what is your answers to those questions? I meant to throw it to you earlier.
For David Bell,
do you think he's the right manager for this team?
I think he's already feeling the pressure now, which I think is good. I think after I think he's been 5 or 6 years. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But he has, plain and simple, he's brought the Reds back to at least a vague form of relevancy. Where it's
I feel like Ellie's kind of done that.
Ellie too, for sure. But the Reds are being talked about more at a national level because of their success last year. And whether that's due to the young talent or due to the leadership of David Bell is for the fans to decide. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I think Bell should be feeling that pressure. And I think if we don't at least get close or to where we got to at the end of last season where we're missing the playoffs on game 161 or game 162, I think you seriously look at going in another direction.
David Bell, by the way, was hired in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 5 years.
I mean, so let me rephrase it. Is he the manager that is going to bring this team to the next level?
I don't think so anymore.
Garrett?
I have to agree with Josh. I don't think he is.
Ben?
I mean, like I mentioned, I don't want to give up on David Bell, but I feel like he's maybe in a way not the right guy for
I agree.
rebuild this franchise.
I agree with Ben. I don't want to give up on him just yet, but he's definitely
And
feeling the pressure.
that
He's definitely
sentiment.
on. That seat's hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
But you know, like I mentioned before, they've had a couple of positives with him, especially with last season winning 12 in a row. Should have made the playoffs last year. So
They collapsed
Yep,
again
they
under
collapsed.
David Bell.
yeah.
But I do want to just throw this out here, and it's a very quick answer so we can move on to our next
Yeah.
topic. Should the Reds make a move, or do you just run it back with this team and hope eventually they get healthy and they can make a change?
If you ask me, I think with a new manager, and if you run it back with this team, I think that would be.
But I'm talking
worthy.
about like a trade. So you're just saying do the manager change, not make a trade for a player.
That I think that's because I feel like there's a lot of talented players. There's oftentimes a former Reds player will go to a different team and look miles better than he did on the Reds. So I think if we can find a manager that can utilize our talent differently, I think that would work out a lot better. And but I think you need to do one of the other, either new manager or let's make some moves on the team.
Ben?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad about the fact to try to find a different manager to try to get this team going a little bit. But overall, that's my take.
And then you, Garrett.
Yeah, I think they do need to make a move. I think if the offense keeps being as anemic as it is, they need to make a trade for some offense. I mean, you can't win when you're hitting this bad. This is really bad.
Yeah. So we ended the show last week talking about Paul Skenes. He made his major league debut on Saturday to a no decision, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 Ks, 7 strikeouts, 84 pitches thrown. Thought it was really cool to hear that he donates $100 per strikeout to the Gary Sinise Foundation for, as I said, every strikeout. Helps support vets and first responders. It's going to be really hard not to like the guy, and I'm going to be cheering for him to strike a lot of people out.
Overall, great debut for Paul Skenes. To be honest with you, I didn't know too much about him when we talked about him last week. I mean, obviously, he was a great player at LSU, number 1 overall pick. He held the Cubs to 3 runs in 4 innings, 7 strikeouts in 4 innings. That is absolutely crazy. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but I could be wrong, but did he hit 17 times? He hit 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I mean, I think this guy has a great future ahead. And if the Pirates are ever in Cincinnati, I would definitely go to a game for sure.
100%.
Absolutely. He wasn't the only one to make MLB debut though. Livy Dunn did too.
Oh, geez. There we go.
Much to my pleasure. All right.
Oh, boy.
So, anyways, there's another sport out there that we've been avoiding these last couple of weeks. The NHL Playoffs is going on, and there's a lot of action going on. Josh, you are our resident hockey expert here, so we're going to let you kind of control the conversation here. The Boston Bruins are going up against the Florida Panthers tonight. They currently trail in that series 3-1. What's going on there?
Florida Panthers are on a revenge tour. They dropped their Stanley Cup last year to the Vegas Golden Knights, and they're just rolling right now through the East. Bruins lost their second, third best player in Brad Marchand, which is a huge loss for them. Florida shuts it down tonight and continues the road to the Stanley Cup Finals.
And I got the West here. It's the Canucks versus the Oilers with Vancouver. Canucks?
Yeah, Canucks.
All right, my apologies.
You're good.
Vancouver obviously leading the series 2-1, and we got the Avalanche. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Avalanche versus Dallas. Dallas leading 3-1. So, Josh, what are your takes on the West?
Well, right now, the Canucks and Edmonton are the two last teams from Canada. Last time the Canada has won a Stanley Cup, 1993.
Really?
Wow.
1993, last time the Stanley Cup went home to Canada.
Wow.
So Montreal Canadiens won it then. So there's a lot of pressure on either the Canucks or Edmonton Oilers to get it done. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Western Conference Finals is currently happening between Dallas and Colorado. Dallas has been my pick to win the Stanley Cup, and I'm going to keep riding that. Thank you, Meanie, for helping me out on that one. Yeah.
Moving back to the East, the New York Rangers are going up against the Carolina Hurricanes. New York leads that 3-2. Were they up 3-0 at one point?
Yes, they were up 3-0, and the Hurricanes have now won back-to-back games, and they have all the momentum.
Is there something to be scared about there?
I think so, because I don't think the Rangers can get Game 6 in Carolina, and the Rangers also have the President's Trophy winner curse. It's basically the trophy that goes to the regular season champion. It's in hockey.
Yeah.
No President Trophy winner has gone to the conference finals since 2014-2015. That was the Rangers. And no President's Trophy winner has won the Cup since 12 and 13. So a lot of pressure on the Rangers to do it. I don't think they win Game 6. Then we go back Game 7, Madison Square Garden, Rangers, Carolina. Going to be a fun one. It's by far been the best series, and I cannot wait for Game 7 if it happens.
A lot of big games and matches going on in Madison Square Garden
MSG
this week.
MSG is the place to be.
Absolutely. But so that is the NHL playoffs. We got we got a little bit of college sports. NKU Softball went on a tear since we last talked about them, almost winning the championship, the Horizon League championship. They tore through IUPUI, Oakland, Youngstown State, Robert Morris, beat Cleveland State in Game 1 of the championship. Needed to beat them twice, though, to win it all, and were not able to get it done, losing 6-1 the final game. Just props to those girls, props to the softball team. Absolutely great run there, and wish we could be talking about them in the World Series.
Yeah, that would have been really nice.
Yeah, but overall, great season for these ladies, finishing with a 27-22 overall record with a conference record of 14-10. Couple of positives through this tournament: they defeated Youngstown State, which came in 36-17 with an overall record and 20-4 in conference play. And a lot of people were thinking these ladies were going to win the whole thing, because all year long they look like the most complete team in the Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And we got through Oakland, which is another great team that they faced all year, with a overall record of 25-19 with a conference record of 17-6. And another takeaway is during the regular season, what stands out to me the most is their win over Michigan at home in Highland Heights. And a couple of award winners that I want to give a shout out to. Brooklyn Dallas made the all-freshman team.
Brooklyn Ballas.
Oh, Ballas. Okay, I'm sorry. All-freshman team, 8th in pitching. All-second team, Olivia Passon and Lauren Hicks. All-first team, Ella Lesimir and Jenna Rhodes. And co-defensive player of the year, sportsmanship award, and all-second team, Maddie Lacer. So congratulations to the Norse on an amazing season.
It was an amazing season for sure. A stacked team. It's a crime they didn't get a chance in the World Series for sure. Which that's actually starting up, isn't it, Josh?
Yes, it will be starting up this week. Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma State, UCLA, Missouri, Stanford, LSU, Duke, Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida State, and Texas A&M are all hosting regionals, and that Cleveland State team will be playing Oklahoma now in the Women's College World Series.
Yeah, definitely an underrated event for sure. I've been actually tuning into that recently, the men's and women's there. But It is time for the winner's circle, as we have a lot of winners this week. We'll let Garrett start it off this week over there in the director's chair. Garrett, who's our winner?
Hello, fellas. So I have a winner that happened last week. It's an MLB player by the name of Willie Adames. So last week, the Brewers had a series with the Royals in Kauffman Stadium. and they were down 5-3 in the bottom of the ninth, 2 on. They were bottom of the ninth, 1 on, 2 out. Willie Adames was on deck, and it had been a running storyline throughout the game that he had been kind of jawing with the fans right next to the on deck circle, the Royals fans. And so when he was on deck, the Royals fans jokingly challenged him to hit a home run, and he delivered. He stepped up to the plate, down 2 with 2 on, and cranked a home run and put the Brewers on top 6-5.
And money out of my wallet.
And they
What do you mean? You would never.
And so the Brewers did end up winning that game. And I think my favorite part about this whole story is that immediately after the home run, he celebrated with his teammates. But before going back to the dugout, he went to the on-deck circle and high-fived the Royals fans through the netting on the backstop. And I just think, as a fan of baseball in general, it's just good for baseball. It's just good fun.
I'm going to say, I can speak on something with that real fast. My biggest issue with baseball has always been they don't know how to make stars. Let their players have characters. They ran that whole let kids be kids. They need to let that happen. That is a funny, hilarious story, even if it did cost me money. Ben, you got one?
Yeah, my winner circle is Jared Goff signing a 4-year, $212 million extension with the Lions, and the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL behind Joe Burrow. How about that? And, looking at these stats here, he was tied 3rd in pass touchdowns and 7th in yards attempt. And overall, Jared Goff, great player. We've seen it since he got to Detroit to lead a team that went 3-13 to nearly making the Super Bowl last season. Overall, congratulations to Jared Goff.
Yeah, it's been an upward trajectory for Goff there in Detroit. That's a big story there. I think he earned every penny that he's going to make in that contract, and it's fun it'll be fun to see what this Lions team does next year, because honestly, the ceiling there isn't one. So.
Yeah, and the thing I love about that signing also is now they have Goff, St. Brown, and Penei Sewell all locked up.
Yeah.
They have their 3 faces of that offense confirmed for the next 4 years.
Right.
Great move.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Future's bright in Detroit, which you can't
Cannot believe that.
Can't say that for any other team in Detroit. But
we'll get to that.
I guess the Tigers are all right, but the Pistons. Oh, God. Anywho, my winner circle pick for this week is going to be Brad Keselowski winning at Darlington, getting his 110 winless streak broken. It felt like a matter of time this year. RFK has been on the rise here these last couple of weeks. His teammate Busher probably should have gotten the win this week, but that's a story for another day. But shout out to Brad. I never thought I'd be kind of happy to see him win. I always, he had that bad Brad kind of persona in the early 2010s, but seeing him win kind of felt good. Roush was actually originally my favorite team, so seeing them succeed is always great. But yeah, Brad K, he's my winner this week.
Well, I'm going to stay in the same sport. However, I'm going to go NASCAR fans. And why I'm saying that is the in-season playoff tournament.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All drivers are eligible for seedings or races, and the top 32 drivers from those events airing on Amazon Prime Video will qualify for an in-season tournament that starts with TNT Sports' first race. Seeding will be based on best finish for the 3 Prime Video races, with tiebreakers determined by next finish, followed by season points position. These 32 drivers will be going for $1 million. That is huge for a small team. And you then get the one-on-one matchup where I don't have to beat all of Joe Gibbs Racing. I just have to beat one of them. I love this.
Absolutely love this. As a March Madness fan, this is beautiful.
Yeah. Just being a NASCAR fan all my life, I feel like this is going to be a step in the right direction for our sport. I mean, you got 32 drivers out there battling it out on the track for $1 million. $1 million, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm really, really excited to see this happen.
Cannot wait.
I have a question.
Yes.
You go right ahead, Garrett.
Of you 3, you all watch NASCAR a bit more than I do.
A tad.
A tad, indeed. Which team benefits the most from that $1 million?
the smaller teams for sure, right?
Yeah, and if you had to make me pick one exact team, it would probably be Legacy Racing
Motor Club.
or Motor Club. Yeah,
Motor
sorry.
Club. Come on, we gotta be professional here.
I mean, you have a very good driver in Eric Jones,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
now he's only got to be at one driver every week. I love that for an opportunity of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So long as he comes back, he's back racing now?
Yes, he is
Okay.
back.
I didn't watch
They-
the
he's a
entire
back end,
team,
yeah.
see him there, but yeah, as long as he comes back healthy, they would definitely stand to win the most. If you're Aspire Motorsports, having a guy like Carson Hocevar who can at his best beat anybody in the field and maybe wreck him on the way there too. But small teams like that are definitely the ones who win. Front row, if they still had Michael McDowell, which they'll have him next year at Spire. So yeah, just those small teams that have talented guys. Justin Haley is somebody to mention. He had a great race at Darlington. So yeah, there's a lot of winners in that whole deal.
Yeah, I want to go back to Spire real quick. I mean, was it? Yeah, Spire.
Yeah.
So with Michael McDowell coming over there for next season, though, I mean, since winning the Daytona 500 in 2021, he's developed into a great driver. I mean, he runs up front a lot more than what we're used to seeing, and I think with his experience, that's going to be beneficial to that team. And with Carson Hocevar, he mentioned last year he was a fan of this race car, and he adapted to it really well.
Agreed.
And time to time, we see him running in the top 15, so it would be fun to see him in this tournament too.
Yeah, this is just the floor for Hocevar.
Yep.
But moving on to basketball, we have some stuff outside the playoffs to talk about here first. We got some coach hirings. The Charlotte Hornets, they signed Charles Lee, an assistant of the Boston Celtics. Pause for – oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to read that. The Phoenix Suns, Mike Budenholzer. Now, we got some bullet points here for Budenholzer. I really like this signing because this is a guy who's been able to manage the stars. I think he will have a better system than Vogel. I like Vogel. I think that he could definitely be a good NBA head coach. I just don't think he's very good at managing stars. I think Budenholzer can do that, will do that, and we'll see how the Suns look next year.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed is he does have experience, obviously, leading more of a star-type lineup. So I'm interested to see how it all turns out. Don't know much about the Charles Lee guy. I'll be the first to admit that, but it's Charlotte. So
regardless, they're just stuck where they are.
Yeah, it's Charlotte.
I'm going to the Suns. Mike Budenholzer. Okay.
I think it's
Budenholzer.
Budenholzer. Okay.
Budenholzer, yeah.
So just looking at his record here in the NBA, he's a two-time NBA Coach of the Year, and he coached the Bucks to the 2021 championship. He in his coaching experience, though, he has had strong offensive teams. So I'm curious to see how he'll pair up with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal as they are keeping this train going and heading into next season. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There's still a lot more coach hires yet to come. We got the Lakers, of course, and
the Wizards.
And
another team that doesn't matter.
We're all waiting on that one. We cannot wait to see the Wizards. They might be hiring. I think I actually just got a call from them. But yeah, so it would be fun to see how that all develops. But Brandon Ingram getting traded, or not getting traded yet, but it looks like he is likely getting shopped, traded away. Which is perfect because just last week we were talking about the Orlando Magic and how they need a scorer. They don't necessarily need defense. They got that. They need just a scorer, a go-to guy. Ingram, if he gives the effort that he's capable of giving, I think it would be a perfect fit in Orlando. But there's other places for him as well. What do you guys think?
With Ingram, I feel like the Pelicans should try to keep him with Zion Williamson because, in my opinion, they are a really good duo on the court. They showed it this year that they're a playoff contending team. But I feel like hopefully they can come back stronger than they were this year.
So, as you mentioned, Orlando was a possibility for him. Philly, Atlanta, Cleveland, and the Spurs were the other teams that were ranked in the Vegas odds.
Atlanta just got much higher on that list with the number 1 overall
Correct.
pick.
Which I was gonna get to that in a little bit. But first off, out of those places, do you think Orlando would be the best fit for him?
Absolutely.
Ben?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, his experience will be beneficial for that team, and I feel like he can be a great addition with that offense with Paolo Banchero, Cole Anthony, and am I forgetting anybody else?
Franz Wagner.
Franz
Which
Wagner.
was I was going to
Yeah.
ask. Does Wagner have to be involved in that trade, do you think? I'm assuming
Probably.
They're
going to have to give up somebody.
I'm assuming one of the guards, Suggs or Cole, have to go in that deal. Because they want better spacing on the floor, so they're not going to want a big.
It would probably have to be Cole Anthony. I think he would be the odd man out in that situation. The more I think about it, I think Suggs is definitely a leader on this Magic team that they need to keep. I think Cole Anthony can definitely, with more playing time, with more freedom, can become a great starting point guard in this league. It's just kind of he's been that Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs backcourt where he hasn't had that chance to shine.
I was going to say, I do not hate the idea of Cole Anthony, CJ McCollum, and Zion Williams
Absolutely.
literally running the
love
floor.
That. I love that as well. I think so long as the Magic don't give up too much of their core, they don't give up too much of that defensive identity in order to bring in Ingram, I think it would work out perfectly. It's exactly, Ingram doesn't have to try on defense. You got Jonathan Isaac or somebody else to clamp up. And you have somebody other than Paolo Banchero who is an offensive threat. And, I think it'd be a match made in heaven. The Hawks, it's such a weird spot with them because with this first pick, that's such a great steal for them. But it's also in a draft that is anybody really going for that first pick? Is anybody going to lose any sleep over it? Like, I just don't know enough about these top prospects. I still need to do my research and stuff on them. But at the end of the day, like, it's not a Victor Wim. I'm not going to try and say his name. Victor. Yama.
There you go.
Wembanyama. I never thought I'd be able to say Antetokounmpo, so here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it's an interesting spot for that pick, and I think Ingram would be interesting, but you would just be giving up DeJounte Murray. So what defense you did have is going out the window. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
For me, well, I was going to bring up first the rumor in Atlanta is they will move on from Trae Young, not Murray.
Oh.
Yeah,
actually, I would so agree with that. Honestly,
yeah, sounds like Trigger Trey is going to be the one on the move, possibly to the Spurs, the Lakers, the Hornets, the Wizards, the Nets, or Detroit.
I just got an image of Trae Young and Vic. Dude,
right?
Dude,
right? Like that.
Oh.
That's scary.
Oh, do you want to finish or
no? Go ahead.
No, okay, I'm sorry. I mean, now that the Hawks get the number 1 overall pick, I was curious to think if they're going to keep Trae Young or trade Trae Young. But now that you mentioned the Spurs, that he could possibly get traded to San Antonio to turn that franchise around, him matching up with Victor Wembanyama, oh man. That is going to be interesting.
He says the name right. You got it wrong. Okay, good to go.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. How about that? I got somebody's last name right. How about that?
Yeah. How the turntables have turned.
But yeah, no. In all honesty, I love that. I don't like him with the Lakers.
Trae Young.
Yeah, Trae Young.
Me neither.
I'm not big on the whole Charlotte thing because Ball and Young just doesn't seem like that has anything.
You would be going in the same situation if you had two ball-dominant guards playing with each other.
Correct. And I've seen the Trae Young story with Washington and Bradley Beal. It'd be the same exact story. That does nothing for me. Brooklyn, maybe, with their young core and their defensive mindset, but would they force the hand and be like, hey, we want Bridges? Because I'm not giving up Mikal Bridges for Trae Young.
Absolutely not.
And then Detroit is just Detroit, which since we brought up Detroit, let's talk about Detroit and the NBA draft. Well, as we mentioned, the Atlanta Hawks got the number 1 overall pick after a 3% chance to win that pick, 10th best. The Washington Wizards, who we also have been talking about, 14% chance to win it. They got second. Houston Rockets had a 1.5% chance. They ended up getting the third. Those San Antonio Spurs, which, by the way, and you throw in the 4th overall pick, Trae, Wemby in the 4th overall pick, which the rumor...
Would they have to give up that pick to get Trae, though?
I don't think so. I'm going to hold on to it as long as I can. I'll tell you that.
That's fair.
But I would give it up for Trae. if I was the Spurs personally. But if you
Yeah.
get to keep that, the talk around that round when I was looking at some mock drafts were the two kids from Kentucky, Shepard and who's the really good
Reeves?
Billingham?
No, Dunningham.
Rob Dillingham.
Dillingham.
There
Thank
we
you.
go. Yeah, you get your UK
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
right.
Shepard and Dillingham were the two guys that I was seeing projected around that time with 3 international players involved. But then the poor Detroit Pistons pick 5. They had a 14% chance to win number 1, and yet again they get knocked out of the top 4. Detroit. So much for tanking and working.
As a Pacers fan, obviously Detroit's not one of my favorite teams, so I just sit here and laugh. It's just hilarious. I mean, I want to see Jaden Ivey succeed, but other than that, it's just like, go ahead and rot.
Can we get Cade Cunningham out of there, please? Can we please save Cade?
Get Cade out of there. Like, just let's relocate, get out of there, move on.
Speaking of Cade, did he ever request a trade at all, or
No.
no?
People are just up there and they're happy.
He's got to get his rookie extension before he's going to. Sorry, not rookie extension. His first big contract before he's going to request a trade. I would say. But yeah, so that's the trade rumors going around. Detroit.
It's funny.
Football season is all you got. That's all you got so far. Let's talk about the playoffs. Let's talk about the playoffs here a little bit. A team we'll be talking about their off season next week will be the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll be previewing that as they are currently down 3-1 to the Celtics. The interesting thing is it could be a 2-2 series if we had a certain Spider in the game.
Yeah, he just got hurt, and they're not winning without him.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I mean,
kept it close.
Yeah, if you don't have Spida, and you got Tatum and Brown healthy. I mean, the other night Tatum he hit 33 points. Brown had 27. But with the Cavs though, I was impressed with Darius Garland stepping up with 30 points. Shot 12 out of 27. Mobley 19 points. Strauss had 15. But overall, I just feel like the Celtics it's too much offense on their end. So I feel like they're going to win this game no problem.
Cavs don't have enough for that Celtics team, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Is Mitchell gone, you think? Just a quick answer?
Wasn't there rumors that he was going to go to Miami?
Yes, sir.
This guy.
Yes, sir.
This guy's rumors. I don't know. But I've seen it. I've seen it before too.
I've also heard Lakers.
I've heard don't even. I mean, everybody. I could go to the Lakers. Everybody is just on the trade block for the Lakers every year. So that doesn't shock me much. But moving down here, we'll go to the Mavs and Thunder. They just played. That was last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
The days are all just one at this point for me. But that was a crazy game. Interesting that Kyrie kind of had a down game there, but a lot of that was former Wildcat Cason Wallace stepping up.
Yes, sir.
Big dog getting some big minutes, replacing Josh Giddey. But the Mavericks were able to pull through a lot because of their role players. I got to give credit to P.J. Washington, Derek Jones Jr., Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. They're all putting in big minutes. And did I say the Thunder ended up winning that game, didn't they?
Last night? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're all the games are just meshing in my brain right now. I might be.
Series tied 2-2.
I'll let you guys take over after I miss that one.
No, it's been a really interesting series. Go back and forth. I compliment the Mavericks, they lose. I compliment the Thunder, they lose. So I'm just not going to compliment anybody.
So who's going to win tonight against the Nuggets
tomorrow? Tonight?
Nuggets.
Tomorrow. I'm going to talk about that next.
We'll get to that in a minute. But.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Josh, it's definitely has been a crazy playoffs between Dallas and OKC. I mean, P.J. Washington, he's done a great job stepping up. Last night he had 21 points.
Why do we keep talking about these Kentucky players? They're everywhere. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
You're good. He was 5 out of 11 from 3. Luka Doncic, he didn't have his best game. I mean, 18 points, 6 out of 20 from the field. Only shot 2 out of 9. And just looking at his last 3 games, he had 29 points, making 53%, and 1 turnover, 22 points, 41%, with 4 turnovers, 18 points, 22%, field goals, and 7 turnovers. So overall, if Luka continues to play like this, they are not going to get past OKC. And one of the difference makers was the free throw line. OKC, they hit 23 out of 24 compared to Dallas. They hit 12 out of 35, or is that wrong? I can't remember.
12 for 35. Who was it?
Dallas from the free throw line.
It was pretty bad. I don't know if it was exactly that, but I know it was a pretty bad percentage.
Yeah, especially with Luka stepping up at the line when it counts the most. He made 1 out of 2. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like we're kind of throwing a lot of hate on Luka here when he's literally playing on one leg. Like, the dude is hurt.
yeah,
Like, he's visibly hurt. Every time he gets fouled, it's like, and maybe that's what he wants us to think. But, yeah, I think Luka is not playing at his best, but he's also not 100%.
So do we want to save the best series for last, or do we want to talk about it now?
Let's save it for last.
Okay, so we'll talk about Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks.
I have a feeling no matter what I said.
Oh, it was 100% going to be talking about your series.
The
So
Pacers.
go ahead. Let's get your thoughts. I'm just happy to be here. Are you just happy to be here anymore, or?
I am no longer happy to be here. The Pacers are winning the NBA championship.
Okay, calm down.
That's what we're that's what we're here for. That's it. No more. We're just happy to be here. We are here, and we are winning this freaking championship. I don't even want to explain why. We just are. All right?
All I can say is Game 4, was it 40-19 or 40-16?
Dude, I already tuned out by then. It was Mother's Day. I wanted to spend time with my mom.
I couldn't believe what the Pacers did, man. And tonight, that Game 5, I can't wait to watch.
Oh,
yeah. I
me
mean,
both.
yeah, it's definitely going to be a great game. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, he's been turning it up as of late. He had 20 points the other night. And the thing that was shocking to me, and I'm sure it was shocking to a lot of you guys, or both of you guys, I should say. Sorry.
However you want to say it.
The Villanova Knicks did not even show up at all.
Villanova Knicks trio.
Yeah, so they got a lot to figure out before they played this next game. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they respond after their worst performance.
Yeah.
In this series.
I'm sure they'll just magically come back to life, like because they're in Madison Square Garden, and it just happens.
Brunson's about to have his 40-point game.
50.
Yeah, 50. All right.
He's dropping 50. You heard it here first, guys.
Just get over 33.
Yeah, 50. Totally not trying to do reverse jinx here or anything. Maybe 60. Maybe 60 even, you know?
But let's go ahead and talk about the best series with the best team.
How is it even the best
With
series?
the best team.
I would say OKC and the Mavs are the best series right now.
Well, it's because the best series has the best team in the NBA, and we're talking about the Denver Nuggets, boys.
Mavs in 5.
Jamal Murray is
Mavs in 5.
Jamal Murray is back. He's hitting buckets. Joker's looking like Joker. Gordon, Porter, KCP. The boys are back, and the Nuggets are gonna win it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, this is another crazy series. I mean, starting off with Minnesota, they go up 2-1. I mean, 2-0. 2-0.
They were also up 2-1.
Yeah, they like everyone was a little bit concerned. What's going on with the Nuggets?
We all thought the series was over.
Yeah,
it was cooked. It was over 2-0. That just might as well be 4-0.
I mean, throughout the series, though, Jamal Murray's games in 1 and 2, he only had 2 points, was 1 for 15. But games 3 and 4, he's turning it around, looking like the player that we're all used to seeing. Another Kentucky player, by the way.
We keep talking about him.
He had 37.
Freaking NBA.
He had 37 points in games 3 and 4. So this Nuggets squad, I'm not concerned at all. They're looking like the team that we're used to seeing all year. And Jokic is playing like Jokic, like Josh said. And Gordon, he had a great night with 27 points. And Edwards had 44. So overall, great series.
And that's man. When you talk star power, like I get it. The OKC Dallas series have Kylie, and they have Luka, and they have SGA.
Just call him Kylie.
Kylie, yeah, it's Kylie
Jenner.
It's the joke. But anyway, obviously the Knicks and Pacers kind of lower tier when it comes to star players. Not that their levels are there, but their names. It's a smaller market. Anyway, we're moving
The
on.
Knicks?
No, Indiana.
Oh.
Jesus.
You
Calm
said the
down.
Knicks and the Pacers, didn't you?
Yeah. They don't have the MVP. They don't have Joker. They don't have Jamal Murray, who honestly is playing like an MVP right now. Yeah. And then you have Ant-Man, who is becoming the face of the NBA. You got Cat out there balling. You got Gobert back from having a baby. This series is everything I wanted. Everything I've wanted so far. Except for the part it wasn't 4-0 Denver. I would have loved not having to sweat out the game tonight. But, man, I can't wait for it.
And one more comment on Murray. I feel like the Nuggets got lucky at the beginning of the series when Murray threw that heating pad onto the floor.
Should have been suspended.
That's my point. The Nuggets were lucky that they did not suspend it, or the NBA didn't.
Just lucky the refs didn't see it.
I'm gonna say, had they suspended him, they literally did not have a healthy point guard on their roster.
They gave him a $100 fine, right?
$100,000.
$100,000.
I was gonna say $100 fine. I can pay that.
$100,000
Really?
fine. That's what I meant.
You just got fined.
Oh yeah, for my Livy Dunn comment.
Yeah, $100,000. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, overall, Denver, they got lucky, and they're just lucky to have Murray in the playoffs.
Yeah, but we'll have some off seasons to talk about next week for sure as the second round wraps up. Cannot wait to see how it all plays out. But coming up, we're going to talk about the WNBA.
Yes,
their season starts tonight.
I'm very excited to watch some women's basketball. Talent is there. They're making star names that we were just talking about, star power and everything else. The first set of games will happen tonight, so obviously this will come out tomorrow after the games happened. However, we got the New York Liberty, many people's picks to win the East, going against the Washington Mystics, the first tip of the WNBA season. You got the Indiana Fever, and of course, we all know, Caitlin Clark.
Who?
Caitlin Clark.
Who?
Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
And her teammate, Aaliyah Boston, reigning Rookie of the Year of the WNBA, going against the Connecticut Sun. We have a very interesting matchup of the Phoenix Mercury with Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi going against the Las Vegas Aces, who are going for a three-peat this year, with Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum, recently now divorced Kelsey Plum. And the Minnesota Lynx and Seattle Storm.
Trying to insinuate.
Minnesota Lynx and Seattle Storm. Seattle made some headlines this offseason getting Skylar Diggins-Smith, the team with leading scorer Jewel Lloyd. But Wednesday night is the ones I'm really looking forward to. You got Camila Cardosa and Angel Reese with the Chicago Sky making their debut versus the Dallas Wings. And then Atlanta Dream taking on Los Angeles Sparks with Cameron Brink's debut in the WNBA. Loaded lineup. A lot going on. However, my question is the WNBA making a mistake playing their games tonight when you have two major NBA games? Ben?
I mean, in my opinion, I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, I feel like in a way fans like to have a lot of events going on, like the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, and the start of the NBA season. So overall, not mad at it at all.
Yeah, I'm excited. I get why they do it when they do it, but it's just I wish that the game didn't happen the night of the Pacers game, or else I probably would have watched that Fever game. I might have it on like a different screen or something like that, but yeah, I think it's definitely. I don't know if there's really just a good point to put this season at any point in at any point of the year. So. Yeah, it is definitely unfortunate the timing, though, for sure.
I will say I'm very interested to see, because everybody talks about it, ratings. I'll be interested to see what rating the Indiana Fever game draws.
Versus the Pacers game.
Yeah, considering against the Pacers game, which would really be interesting if we could break it down by the state of Indiana and how they would watch. I would love to see that, because
me too.
Indiana loves basketball. And with technology nowadays, I get it. You can put it on one TV and then on a computer on the other and everything else. But I just kind of think the WNBA should not start their season until after the playoffs, because, man, I got so much going on, and I want to watch the WNBA, but there's no way I can miss these Game 5s tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. One hot take I want to get in for the WNBA. I think Cameron Brink will win Rookie of the Year this year.
Really?
Over Caitlin Clark.
I think she's the most talented, most all-around player in this draft class. I have thought that all year long. She's a stat sheet stuffer. I think she's super underrated coming out of Stanford because her teams, I guess, weren't as good. But yeah, give me Cameron Brink for Rookie of the Year.
That's definitely a hot take.
Yeah. Overall, I'm excited to see how these rookies will develop, especially with Caitlin Clark. Just watching her at Iowa, she's such an elite player. She can do it all. And you also got Angel Reese, who was a key factor on LSU's team over the years, national championship, of course, and excited to see how she can develop. And she's in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Chicago.
style.
Yeah.
And then I'll end it with this. We all are looking forward to the rookies, and this is what is making the WNBA what it is. These big-name rookies coming in. But do not sleep on the names. Asia Wilson, who I mentioned for the Las Vegas Ace, two-time MVP for WNBA, and then obviously the name Brianna Stewart,
Yep, I was going to mention
who plays for the New York Liberty. Two very, very, very good players that I cannot wait to actually get to watch more and learn their game more.
It's going to be fun to watch them go up against these rookies for sure.
Yes.
But we're going to throw it to Garrett as it's time for the Triple Threat Trivia. Can we get a little movement in the leaderboard today? We'll have to wait and see. Garrett, what do you got for us?
All right, gentlemen. So, since we didn't get to talk about NASCAR earlier, I have a NASCAR trivia question.
Let's go.
All right.
I have
Now-
a chance. So
Let's
you're
do it.
saying there's a chance.
So, we just, obviously, Darlington happened Sunday. Brad Keselowski, correct me if I'm wrong, he snapped a 110 race streak, or 110 race losing streak between wins. I know it's been like 3 years.
Yeah, it was 110. It was 110.
110? Okay.
Yeah,
My-
I was just thinking about where this question's going.
My question for y'all today,
This could be his last victory.
no.
Oh.
Quit interrupting me.
Sorry.
Who has the longest losing streak between races, and how many was it?
Is it a multiple choice question like last week?
It is not a multiple choice question. I can give you
Freak.
the, if you want, I can give you the era, and I can give you the races that he won to cap that streak.
I would like those hints.
At least the era. Let's get the era here
Okay,
first.
era.
Let's
Okay.
do it one at a time.
The era was the 90s to early 2000s driver.
Oh.
Okay, I think I know who it is.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I think I know too.
Mark Martin.
No.
Oh no, I knew it.
And what were the years again? The
90s to 2000s.
Yes,
90s
90s to
to
2000s.
Wasn't Mark Martin? That's what I thought. it was Mark
90s
Martin.
to 2000.
He won a lot more races than you think, man. A lot more.
I thought there was a long in between though, like he wasn't even in the sport.
I'm gonna go. Just a random guess. Michael Waltrip.
No.
No.
I'm so glad I let you go before me because that was going to be my guess. So,
What, Michael Waltrip?
Yeah. So I have a name. If it longest streak 90s.
Well, I originally thought Dale Jr.
Is it Kenny Wallace?
Ooh.
No.
What were the races?
Okay. So his first win during this losing streak came at Darlington in 1994. His next win was at Miami in 2001. So that's 7 years of losing racing.
Do you have an idea of what the manufacturer was for at least one of those wins?
No.
It's not Ricky Craven, is it?
Can
It
I
is
ta-
not.
Can I take a guess?
Go for it.
I'm gonna go with Sterling Marlin.
Ooh.
It is not.
All right, so I'm the last one here to have hope of anything. Okay. If he said Dodge, there's no way.
It's not Bill.
It's not. Is it Bill Elliott?
It's Bill Elliott.
I almost said it. I almost said it.
Once he said Dodge, I literally was like, it has to be Bill Elliott because he literally drove the Dodge car. And that is another point for me. Another point. How did you not know your favorite driver's dad?
Dude, I wasn't even born.
Yeah, man. The fact you even said the Dodge is when it instantly clicked. But I would have swore it was Michael Waltrip. That was a great
I
guess.
said it
All
before
six
Josh. Let it be known.
All 6 of those guesses, though, were fantastic names because I would never have guessed Bill Elliott for that, ever.
Yeah.
I would have named a lot more drivers.
Do any of you know how many races he lost?
If it's 7 years times 36.
520.
Try again.
333.
36.
333.
No.
No.
It couldn't be because it's an even number.
No.
300 and
No.
400 and
No.
Oh, gee.
300
Lower.
and
Okay,
It's
what's the
lower.
answer?
360.
What's the answer?
226.
Ooh.
226 races lost before Bill Elliott won another race. In a different century, people. It took him a century to win a new race.
And yet everybody loved him. Everybody loved Awesome Bill.
From
Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
Yes, sir. But you
All
know
right.
what? I'm going to go ahead and just jump everything and throw out the 2-minute warning
Yeah,
because we're
2-minute
running
warning
out of
time.
time here. It is officially 2-minute warning time. So, gentlemen, who do you want to see the Bengals open the season against?
Give me the Steelers, that division opponent. I love it to start
Home
the
or
year.
away?
Home.
For myself, I wouldn't be mad if they faced the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, they're playing somebody already in week
Oh,
one. So.
that's right.
Nope, yeah, anyway, nope.
Steelers.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to go New England Patriots. Give me a rookie quarterback and a rookie coach. Ben, who do you want or who needs a win more in Game 5?
I'm going with the Knicks. I mean, like I mentioned before, the Villanova trio, they got to turn that last game around.
Between the Timberwolves or
Any Game 5. And
Oh, give me the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves are my answer as well because they're not winning if they don't win tonight. How many points will Caitlin Clark score tonight? I have 25. The record is 34.
18.
25.
And last but certainly not least, who are your final 4 playoff drivers at the halfway point?
I'm going with Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., and William Byron. Hendrick versus Gibbs.
Larson, Reddick. I had it. You do have yours.
Larson, Reddick, Hamlin, and Chris Buescher.
Larson, Reddick, another freaking Toyota driver that's not coming to my head right now. I guess we can say Hamlin for fun. And then Byron.
All right.
So that is all for today's episode. A chaotic episode there towards the end, let me tell you. But I think we're a little over our hour on that, but it's all right. It's for the chaos, the beauty of it all. So be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button if you guys enjoyed all the chaos that ensued today. Thank you, Bill and NKU Media Services, for all that you do, making the show better each and every week. Garrett, thank you for all your directorial duties. And that's such a weird way to say that. But thank you guys, of course, for coming on. And be sure to follow the Twitter and X, whatever, or Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.